Welcome to August in Ayr Gardening. Got a fun packed show for you this month. Lots of things to do, including some of these. This month we're going to be looking at how to use a half moon cutter. We're also going to be tidying the woodland border and exploring some of the beautiful flowers and the colours that we've got coming through in the garden. Another little project is to espalier the peach tree, and we'll be looking at an update on the extended vegetable garden. Also, I'm going to be starting to pot up some of the runners on the strawberries, and I'll show you how I make my new plants for that later in the show as well. But I think we'll make a start with the espalier work on the peach tree. Well, today I'm going to start to train the peach tree. The method for this is called espalier, and where we're going to train it to grow along the fence. This is now in its third year and the growth is really coming, so I'm going to intend to bring this down and start to grow it laterally, and then we'll have some shoots that will come upwards and we can train those off afterwards as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this main branch here, look at where that comes when I bend it down, and I can see where then I can put my first hook in to take the wire, and that's just going to go in here. Nice little pilot hole for the hook. Stand the drill down there, and then we'll pop the first hook. And that will go just like so. Now, because I know these are roughly level, I can then put another one in the end here, just there. And tighten this hook in as well. These are a large steel eye actually, and they will take the wire, which will then enable me to tie the plant into position. So I've now got two hooks in. Time to get my wire. And initially I'm going to feed that through the first eye here, then bring it along into the second eye, and then just tie that off nice and tightly. Just wind it round a couple of times. And then once we've got that nice and tight, we can start to bring the plant down onto it. I've now got the two main branches coming down at the angle I want, but I've also got some which are growing inwards towards the fence, which I don't want. Now, when it comes to pruning soft fruit trees like peaches and nectarines, you should really only prune them spring, early part of the year, when they are just growing. But this is still growing, and I feel it's going to be fine to do so. Never prune them after they've started shedding their leaves. It can lead to some leaf curl and dieback, which you don't really want. But I'm just going to take off a couple of these which are growing directly back towards the fence, because I want this to be growing outwards. I'm leaving those that are growing upwards, and I'm going to leave this as one long growth. So this one here needs to come off, and then this one can be trained onto the wire. This will be trained to go up, and this will be trained to go up, and we will form a fan shape. So as I carry on doing that, and I'll show you some pictures of it when it's done. Well, a couple of days have passed and we've got the basic shape of the tree now. The two laterals and some uprights, which is going to give us a nice fan shape against the fence as the tree continues to grow. It's also going to allow more air to pass through the plant and keep it more healthy, and it's going to be easier for me to protect that over the winter when I can just fleece up over the front from the fence and not cause any damage. Loving these raspberries coming on, lots to do, but I'm very, very pleased with the overall shape of the peach tree. Well, I am now at the little border on the bank of the stream that I built last year, which incidentally has not been finished yet, because every time I want to get some cement I just can't get it at the moment. It seems that the professional builders and things are the priorities, and there is a bit of a shortage, but I'm going to keep trying, and I will get this top coat of render on here, nice waterproof coat, and we can run the stream more often then. Anyway, that aside, I've been going through here and I've been taking out all of the polyanthus that I put in here, and they're going to be moved into the front garden to join with the primroses and primulas that we've got out there. So they're all the same family and they'll make a nice display next year. And whilst I was here, I thought what I can do is I can actually finish to edge this border. So I'm going to go and get my half moon, and I'm going to give a nice edge and raise this up a little bit and give a nice drop, the same as I've got on this side with the border, so that the grass has a defined edge. And I'll show you how to do that now. Well, yesterday I made a start on putting a nice edge on this border by the stream, and there are a couple of things that I just will let you know before I show you what it is I do. Firstly, it really does help if your soil is damp. So if you're trying to do this on a dry day, it might just be worth watering the edge. And secondly, I'm just going to be making sure that the area that I clean is deep enough to be able to get my long handled shears to clean the edge up. So all of this along here, I'm making about 1 hand deep from the edge, which will allow the depth for the long handle shears to cut it. So I'm taking out grass that is growing in, and then I'm making myself a little border here where I'm going to be planting it up with some dianthus plants, and that should look really lovely. So let me show you what it is that I do. Well, this is my half moon cutter, and very useful tool it is. But if you get inexpensive tools like this one, they don't last very long. This one actually is done very, very well. I've had this for 4 years, and that was pre-owned by the people who used to live in this house, and it's done very, very well. But this will be its last season, and I'll be replacing it next year. So, to show you what it is I do, I'm just firmly taking the cutter into the ground about 2 inches away from the border, and I only do around about 2 feet at a time. I then reverse it, come a couple of inches in, and work it back along the same area. And that's going to release the grass that I don't want. So this is the area that I've just cut, and all I'm going to do now is with a trowel just slightly lift this, and out should come the roots of the grass that I don't actually want. And I'm just doing this very, very loosely. I don't want to put too much strain on my inexpensive replacement trowel, because I managed to break my stainless steel one this morning, which was very clever. And out will come this section, which will go to compost. And then I can just do a little bit of tidying up inside here, removing some more of the roots. And more for compost. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the half moon again, and I'm going to tidy this dead straight down, dead straight, to give myself a really lovely edge that I can work with. And what we've got to remember is what we've just cut there again contains a lot of root of grass, and so I'm going to take that again to compost. It will all be reused over the next year or so. Then where the grass is still growing, areas I haven't cleaned, I can just work that out, clear the roots. Lovely. And again here, just clear that out, all that root. More for compost. Oh wow, we're going to have a good pile of compost. Then all I'm going to do is just break the bank down a little bit. Lovely to see all these butterflies and bees around me at the moment. Really, really nice. And then I can lift out of the area that I've just cleared. Smooth along. Bit, then we can just tidy up inside here. All these little bits and pieces we'll be getting rid of, and I will continue to make this lovely edge all the way around here, right up past Bill and Ben. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, and there's a Spitfire flying overhead. What a wonderful sight. Well, this really is the time of year when we can enjoy our gardens. You may remember back in March when I planted the mini orchard and the fruit trees, and in May when I undersowed those trees with the seeds to give us some lovely flowers and colour this summer. And also, where I'm standing now, you may remember the new mound that we only planted up just a couple of months ago. So now I'll take you through and let you have a look at how it looks now. Well, this is the mini orchard, and you can see the lovely plum tree in front of us, and just above there, towering high, are some cosmos flowers, and this is absolutely looking beautiful now. These cosmos are going to really come out in the next week or so. So let's just move on to the mound, the new border. Well, how this has completely changed and filled out, and there's some lovely height from a couple of sunflowers there, and we've got delphiniums, We have got geraniums, we have got lots and lots of colour. I'm afraid the lupins have now just come to the end, but if you compare back to where we were just a short 6 to 7 weeks ago, this is looking absolutely beautiful, and the scent of the lavender coming off the middle there is absolutely wonderful. Now whilst we're actually out looking at the lovely flowers that we've got, it is time for me to have a little bit of work to do and to tidy up the woodland border. Well, this is my woodland border, and it was the first border that I actually started to lay out when I started to do the garden, and I'm afraid I've been very neglectful of this border so far this year. I've been concentrating on other areas of the garden, and I've got a lot of tidying up to do. On the Aquilegias, they are actually shedding their seeds, and all I will do when I cut these heads off, I'll give them a little sprinkle, and I'm going to tidy out some of the grass that is growing through, give the heathers a little trim. The sedum is coming through lovely, but again we've got grass coming through from the bottom, so I need to tidy that up. I've also still got some peony dead heads on here which I should really have dealt with, and I didn't, so that's all going to be tidied. We're going to cut this down, and we're going to clear off some of the hellebore leaves as well, and just open this out so that the garden has a nice edge to it and it really looks nice. And talking of edges, I'm going to get my half moon back, and I'm going to tidy up the edge of this grass to give a defined edge to the border as well. So there's a lot of work to do there, and I think I will show you how this looks in the next show. Well, I've done a little bit of work on that border. There's a lot more to do, but now I'd like to take you down into the vegetable garden and show you something that I'm doing there. Well, we've had a fair bit of rain over the last couple of days, so I thought it'd be a really good time to come down here and cut and lift the rest of my cabbages, which I've just finished doing. And it looks like the garlic's going to be ready to come up this week as well, so I'm looking forward to harvesting that. But the main reason that I've brought you down into the veg garden today is I want to show you what I do with my strawberries and the runners, because at this time of year our strawberries are sending out runners for future growth, and these are the plants that will be growing off in the future. So let me just show you what I personally do with those. Well, here we are back in the polytunnel, and on this particular strawberry plant here I have got masses of these runners coming off. Now in the soft fruit bed I've probably got about 200 or 300 of these. Now each one of these is going to produce a new plant for next year, but we need to make sure that they get rooted properly, and this is what I do. What I have done is I have prepared this bowl with a 50-50 mix of peat-free compost and garden soil, and all I'm going to do is just take one of my little pots here, completely fill that, like so, and then the runner, find the best plant on it for now. I place that just on the surface, and you've probably all got these indoors, pack of plastic wall plugs. I just cut off 2, pin that over the top of the runner into the soil so it holds the plant in place, and I'll do that on every single runner, and we will end up with hundreds of new plants for next year. Once I've done these lot on here, I'll probably just give them a light watering just to make sure that they're okay. So that's my strawberries in place for next year. I think I need to show you what I'm doing in the extended vegetable garden so far. Well, here we are back in my neighbour's garden, and before I just show you the beds that I'm working on, you may remember in the last show when we were doing our section on weeds, I treated this corner with the white vinegar, and as you can see everything has died back and can now be cleared. But I will show you there's a lot more to do here relating to weeds, because what I did cut down has now all grown back. So I'm going to be treating all of this area as well. But I'm just going to move over now onto the second of the raised beds that I've been building. Well, this is going to be quite a large bed. It's around about 8 foot by 4 foot and fairly deep. And the frame is now built. What I've now got to do is I've got to start to line the frame, and I've cut some timbers, and these are going to fit inside here, and I'm going to drill and fix those around the edge, all the way around the inside, before I give it a waterproof seal. So I'm just going to take my drill, pop a nice pilot hole through there, take out the drill bit and replace that with a screwdriver head. And every individual plank that we put on here will receive a screw fixing to make it nice and permanent. Let's just start this one off here. Bring the screw just through, and I can line it up with the pilot hole that I've just done, and then affix that nicely in place. And we'll be doing that all the way up the sides here and along the back here. And so we'll just replace that again to put a pilot hole through. Pilot hole in place. And all of this is being made out of pallets, and I've got around about 20 pallets which I'm going to be cutting up and making all these beds with. And as I clear each section of the garden from weeds, another one of these beds goes in and we can get ready for planting. Whilst we're here, I will just show you the raised bed that I did first of all, the small one. Now this is a nice little bed, a few weeds just coming through, and we've got a bit of corn growing in here at the moment. But it just goes to show that we can grow anywhere. And get rid of these weeds onto there. And well, we've got some radishes in here as well, so just have a look at that. Nice sized radish on there. I think I'll have that with some salad later on today. So we've covered a lot today. I think it's about time that I left this here, and I'm going to be putting a capping along here as well, just to finish this off. But yeah, time to go and sum up what we've done and have a look at a few things that we can be doing during the month of August. Well, that brings me to the end of our little show for August, and sorry this one's just a day or so later than normal, but I've had some computer problems, and so I'm sitting here on the 1st of August and completing the video filming for you. But I hope you've enjoyed the show today as much as I have. We've covered quite a lot of ground today, and I've thoroughly enjoyed putting this together, especially the bit with the borders and the peach tree as well, showing you how the extended veg garden's coming on, but also most of all showing some of the lovely flowers and colours that I've got in the garden at the moment. Now at this time of year we don't have a great deal to do, one would think, in the garden, but you couldn't be more wrong. So a couple of things that I'm going to be doing in the garden during August, apart from sitting around and thoroughly enjoying myself, I'm going to be planting out some of my winter vegetables for cropping late October, early November. I've got some more potatoes going in, and I'm sowing cabbage and cauliflower. Also some late kale is going in now as well. We're going to be harvesting over the next couple of weeks things like our courgettes and our cucumbers, and so there's still plenty of things to do as well as enjoying the garden. But looking around now, seeing the benefits and the fruits of the work. Now next to me you'll probably notice the bamboo is sprouting up to 12, 13 foot high. That's something I'm going to be bringing back in line, because once the bamboo has finished sprouting and the bracts have fallen off, you cut the bamboo, it will not grow any higher. It is only the new shoots that grow tall. So there we are for another show. So I think I'll leave you with a little drop of wine. No, I'm not going to drink the whole bottle. This is a McGuigan Cellar Select Cabernet Shiraz. So I'm going to have a little drop of that today. Just pour a little drop into the glass as you do. I must say we've struggled with the weather over the last couple of weeks. Unseasonably wet and windy over the last few days, and that's what's delayed me here. But I hope you're going to carry on enjoying your garden, enjoying the summer that we're going to be having over the next couple of months. And I will say this, that next month and September the shows will be slightly shorter, because I've got a week's holiday during August, which is going to be taken up with some decorating work indoors, so I won't be out in the garden so much. And then we're going to go away and have a little bit of downtime in September, so I won't have as much time left for filming. So it just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching. Take care, be safe, be kind to each other, and happy gardening. Cheers.